This is video 123. It's about the action of seed, the action of CSET, and the action PSET. Here we see the action seed putting a value into register S. It'll be a value between 0 and 999. It's a random number gotten from the computer's clock. It checks the milliseconds and uses them to get this random value S. Here we see a reset. Whenever you're using frequency tables, the program has to set up a working area for those tables. When you want the tables reset, you have to say reset. Alright, that is the action reset. Now we're going to go down here to see it building a frequency table. First, it says how many possibilities are there. There are 10 unique outcomes. This is going to be for blackjack. The 10 outcomes are you could get an ace, excuse me, through a 9, and then the rest of the cards are valued 10. The number of cards in the deck is next, 52. Next, we have the values 1 through 9, each occurring 4 times in the deck. Cards with value 10 occur 16 times in the deck. Now we're going to use that frequency distribution to randomly pull out, using a puck, we're going to pull out 39 cards. There's a loop going from 1 to 39. We're pulling out 39 cards out of that deck. After that, we're going to do a CSET. That means copy the frequency table with seed 0 plus S. Well, that's the table we've been working with. But it's going to copy it out the way it is with the remaining 13 cards of the deck. Not the whole deck, but what the cards were that were left after it pulled out the 39 cards. Well, then there are going to be 13 cards left. And it knows where to go get the frequency table because it's at here 0 plus S, and there it is, it's the 0 plus S. But it's going to call it with a different seed of 1 plus S. So the frequency table it builds here at frequency plus offset 100 is the new table 1 plus S. Alright, now we're going to go ahead a little bit again. We're going to find out down here for J equals 1 to 1,000 times. It's going to pull cards out of this frequency table that only has 13 cards in that deck. When it starts, each time it has to do a PSET to the frequency table at 1 plus S. In other words, it's going to reset it back to where it was originally here, so that now cards can be pulled out of it 1,000 different times, but it will always start the same 13 cards. Here we're going to say the dealer starts with a total of 6. In other words, he has an up card of 6. Then it's going to go around the loop, and he's going to draw cards until he gets to 17, or he goes over 21. Alright, that's the program. Now we're going to execute it. We're going to go to the trail, advance to a halt. Now we're going to see what it's going to do. CSET with 1,000 PSETs. Remember, we copied the frequency table when it was down to 13 cards. Then we're going to go around it 1,000 times, resetting, p-setting the table back to the beginning each time. In this particular case, when it did the C-set of the frequency table that originally had 52 cards in it, it was down to 13. Remember, we pulled 39 cards out of it already. There's still 10 possibilities, but here are the 13 cards. There's one ace left, 2 2s, 2 3s. There are no 4s left. There's 1 5, 1 6, 2 7s, 2 8s, no 9s, and there's 2 cards of value 10 left. Alright, now after we go through that 1,000 times, 151 times the dealer got 17. 131 times 18. 153 times he got 19. 81 times he got 20. 132 times he got 21. But 352 times he went over. Now we're working with this distribution here, which shows that tens, there are only 2 tens. That could be why he did not go over half the time. Notice he only went over 352 times out of 1,000. Here is another case. A different 13 cards are left. Look how sort of evenly they're distributed. There's only 2 of 10 value. On average, there should be 4 of those. So again, the dealer is well off because he started with a 6. And he has to take 2 more cards. He goes 6 to 16, and then he has to draw again. So he's in good shape here because only 302 times out of 1,000 did he go over. Here is a frequency distribution that's more normal in that it says there are 4 10 cards left. And you see down here, excuse me, 453 times he went over. 75 times he got 17. Notice he didn't have an ace or a 2 card, so it was harder to get just 17. Alright, that's another example. Here I find an example where there's only 1 10 card available. Wow, and look what happened. The dealer only goes over 236 times. And here, because there are 2 aces, he has a chance of 17, 193 times. Here's a case where there are 5 10 cards left. Look how many times he went over. 680 times out of 1,000. Here's a distribution where he only had 2 cards of value 10. And look, he only went over 268 times. Here's a frequency table that says there are 6 value 10 cards left. Notice that over half of the time the dealer goes over. Remember, he's starting with a 6, so it's difficult to get between 17 and 21. Okay, that's the end of video 123.